Let's welcome Cal Cunningham. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, fellow Democrats. It's great to be in the 7th Congressional District. Wonderful to see you this evening. I look forward to getting to know you. Folks, our country has been hit hard, very hard. Decisions that were made along the way are part of why we got there. And uncertainty is as great today as it perhaps has been at any time since the Great Depression and World War II. Here in North Carolina, we're on the front edge of that. We're seeing it as bad as anyone with our military communities, with the loss of manufacturing, with the challenges in our banking, and with the high-tech jobs that we've lost. We've been hit hard. Folks, I'm running for the United States Senate to work with President Obama to create new jobs, to restore innovation to this economy, to reform health care, to strengthen education. And unlike Richard Burr, I will always put North Carolina families first. Now, Richard Burr, we've seen who Richard Burr puts first, himself. On the eve of the great financial crisis that struck our country a year ago September, when markets are collapsing and financial institutions were reeling, rather than help stem the losses and control the panic, what does he do? He calls his wife and tells her to go take as much cash out of the bank as possible. Folks, Richard Burr's economic plan is a recollection of his 4-digit PIN code. I think in this campaign that jobs are going to be the defining issue. From the front door of my house in Lexington, if you look past where I go to church, just beyond it are shuttered furniture manufacturing buildings. When I grew up in that town, the parents of all of my friends, that's where they worked. Those jobs are gone now. And they're gone in no small part because of the votes that Richard Burr cast. I got into this race to join the fight for the change that our state and our country urgently need. And I'm not new to these fights. First in the state Senate, I worked to reduce class sizes and raise teacher pay, worked for clean air, worked to create jobs, preserve our open space. Then as an Army prosecutor in Iraq with Fort Bragg's 18th Airborne Corps, worked to hold rogue contractors accountable, prosecute sexual assault in the ranks, and investigate theft of our taxpayer money. Folks, when I came back from Iraq, before we checked out at Fort Benning, I pinned my Bronze Star Medal on my son's chest. First, as an acknowledgement to him that even though he didn't take an oath, even though he didn't volunteer, he served too. That my family had served too, and that all of our military families have served too. But also as an acknowledgement to him and to his generation, as a commitment to him that we've got to get this right now. We've got to solve our nation's problems now, because he deserves better. The next generation deserves better than to inherit the mess that's been made in this country. I make that same commitment to you. I make that commitment to go to Washington, to work in the United States Senate, to protect working families, and make sure that you have a voice and someone's there fighting for you. I'll take on the Wall Street firms, the corporate interests, the special interests that help lead us into this economic calamity. I'll fight to improve health care, stand up for our veterans. I'll work to strengthen our schools, our community colleges, and our universities that will attract the jobs, that will power an American comeback. And folks, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen but by replacing Richard Burr in the United States Senate. And mark my words, come November, it's going to be former U.S. Senator Richard Burr.